Alright, a few minutes to get this camera set up. Trying to get it to focus. Give me a minute. Wonder why it's not focusing. There we go. Okay, I guess I'll put a timestamp on this. One minute 40. Oh, we'll start it at 2 minutes. All right. This is a general reading. I'm not really doing them by the signs for the time being, because we're all the signs. So I'd rather read for the entirety of you than a specific section of your birth chart that correlates to a specific section of your physical or spiritual or mental life. These readings are an overview of what you're going through right now, like where you are in your point right now. Not energy from the past, not energy from the future. So if you're carrying energy from the past, it might come up, but the way I do my readings, we're not going to read about the past. We're going to bring it, clear it, resolve it, and move forward into the present moment so you can move forward into the future moment so that that becomes a better present moment. So take a deep breath. Remember, all is well. You are safe. You are guided, guarded, and protected. And we are all a family, regardless of whether we get along or not. So let's see what you need to know right now. For right now, for your highest and greatest good. By the way, I do not do readings on third parties or from the point of view of a cross watcher watching for someone specific or trying to get information, in regards to somebody for ill intent. My readings will just seem like gibberish to you if you have ill intent in your heart or mind towards anyone else or yourself. So come here with a clear heart and be prepared to do what you need to do for your spiritual advancement and your physical life's betterment. Okay? If there's any problems that you have, if there's any drama with anybody, just put it to the side. This time is for you. This is why I call these readings the Gaia Star readings. I explained it in a previous video, and it's because you're on Earth, you're on Gaia, even whatever matrix you believe you're in, you're on a corporeal plane of existence called Earth, and you are a being of light on that planet. Your light emits from the entire universe as well as from within you. So when you break down that light into 12 segments, you're only getting part of the picture, okay? But when you look at it from your point of view, looking out into the world as yourself a focal point of Gaia created upon Gaia, then the story that you're looking to resolve becomes much easier to comprehend. Instead of looking at little puzzle pieces for, Sagittarius or Virgo or like Scorpio or whatever, just it's you. Those other parts are just aspects. That's why when most people watch readings regarding other people, it doesn't make sense and they come up with these ridiculous scenarios in their minds and they cause all this needless drama. When you watch tarot readings, watch them for yourself. Three of Pentacles. Work together with other people to balance the energies within you. I'm not really getting much else from this. It just seems like you're supposed to be, whatever you're doing in regards to your energetic and spiritual practice, it's time to level it up. It's time to work with someone to get you to the next place. I'm seeing a runner holding a torch and then someone gives them water and the runner passes the torch to the next person. So maybe it's time for you to either get some water or pass the torch to someone else and teach them something, or to allow yourself to be reached by, I know some of you are hermits, by, other humans, other people, so that you can evolve. Wherever you think you are right now, we all need to evolve. So humble thyself and accept help or offer help. For some of you, you're working on something and you've been hitting a blockage. And if you join forces with people outside of your generational marker, did you just see that? If you group with other people, like, you know how they say, oh, whatever, the title is boomer, zoomer, or some shit. So let's say you're born in the 80s, right? Maybe it's time you work with somebody who's born in, after the year 2000, somebody with a fresh mind, like in their 20s, early 20s, late teens, maybe like mid 20s. Someone who knows about the modern civilization without knowing how it was prior to the internet. Because it's two completely different paradigms. So if you're trying to move forward in your career or spiritual work or even your physical health, finances even, it's time to get a fresh pair of eyes to look at things for you. Find somebody, younger than you and find somebody older than you that are responsible, intelligent, and empathic so that you three can work together with a linked energetic bond between you that is based on benevolent intentions, so that the universe rewards you and moves you forward instead of drags you back through the slime pit of negative human behavior. It's time to move forward and it's time to work with someone to move forward. It's time to get out of your comfort zone as well. And these two cards, first this one flipped over and then it flipped back and this one flipped over. I can rewind it to see it. The elemental of water and the hangman. So I'm not going to read them separately. I'll read them together because they came out together. And they flip-flop. So you have an extensive amount of emotional intelligence and capacity, but you have been blinded to the way the physical world currently works. It's almost as if you had your eyes shut, your hands tied behind your back, and you were told to run a marathon through the woods without hitting a single tree. And somehow you did it. And now there's people that want to work with you to learn from you and for you to learn from them. It's like taking somebody from the 1800s and putting them into the 27th century or something. They both have knowledge from different realms. Your emotional knowledge and intelligence put together with spiritual know-how and techniques that are worked with others together will bring about a kind of massive change of perspective and a realization of your own strength, regardless of what you have around you. This coming experience will teach you and show you and remind you of your true self. And that true self is a being of love. So look at this card here. Notice how her eyes are tied and her hands are tied, right? But you can't tell whether they're untying her or tying her up. And then there's a mob in the back, but we can't tell if they're an angry mob or if they're, like a coven doing some magic at night or something, or a ritual or something. It's all about perspective, isn't it? And your perspective has been based far too much on the depths of your emotions and the trauma you've hid within. Notice the ground cave that she's swimming out of. Not only is she at the bottom of the ocean, but she's also beneath the bottom of the ocean and still thriving. You've managed to do that. Now can you do that in the physical world with all of its problems and all of its people and all of its blessings and all its beauty? Can you bring all this water to a dry and barren world that has people using the sticks they find as torches instead of chairs to ease their comfort and pain, to give comfort and ease pain of each other, to each other? If you know what I mean. Three of Cups at the bottom of the deck. I cannot shake the sensation that you are really being urged to connect with someone regarding Three of Cups. Hold on a minute. Three of Pentacles, Elemental of Cups, Hangman, Eight of Cups. Oh, Three of Cups in between, and then the Eight of... Okay. Working with someone will help you balance your emotional state and create a bigger impact in the physical world, which will have you leaving behind a lifestyle you thought you could have had and that you thought you wanted for something better. Because you don't realize right now what it is you're missing out on until you meet these new people who are from a completely different time and space than you are. Once you meet them and they reflect back to you your strength while you reflect back to them their strength, you walk away from what you thought you wanted towards the transportation being provided for you, cat right there, by these two people who are by your side, helping you. And these two people were also in the Three of Cups that I put back in there. Now at the bottom of the deck, it's Three of Swords. So obviously there's been some pain due to a water sign that acted mightier than thou. Probably a Three of Swords, Elder of Cups, Ten of Pentacles. Somebody that was a water energy or somebody you trusted emotionally deeply that betrayed you probably had a green couch that they distorted somehow and tainted. And they could have taken things from you. Ten of Pentacles, Three of Swords, Elder of Wands. Somebody really screwed with your family and your stability and your security. It's almost like they took your things and they were looking at them and pretending to be you and failing terribly at it. Because you're irreplaceable and you're unique. You're an elemental. And they're just flawed elders. The advice here and the problem seem to be both in the same place, where the solution is. The solution is interaction with two other people. The problem is the pain keeping you from interacting with other people. And the solution is becoming brave enough to deal with the pain and utilize that pain as magic to create something that is life-giving. So someone asked me a long time ago, my goodness, almost over 30 years ago now, how I would think that the earth, if the earth was a conscious being in human form, and she has superpowers. This was back in the 80s and stuff when we were reading X-Men, or maybe early 90s. And I told them, well, she would probably feel everything fully and then somehow paint what she's feeling into an image, and that image becomes scenery. So like how everything has a vibration, the sound of the sun rising probably has a vibration. When you see it from Earth, the scene you would look at, probably has some kind of a melody to it if you put it in a machine and translated it. So the Earth itself, being all vibration, probably feels it, sees it, and then that's how you get beautiful sunrise, because she feels very hopeful. And beautiful thunderstorm is like when she's really emotional, but it's a releasing, freeing emotion, or like happy tears. When it's a rainbow, it's like a promise of the bad being gone and being protected. Those emotional states transmit into imagery. And if you have synesthesia, which I've had my entire life, it's easier to comprehend because you could see color as you can hear sound as color. And God, my apologies. It's difficult for me to separate the sensory, the things you look at, you can hear. The things you taste, you can like feel. To me, they're all the same. Like I have to really focus to make certain that this is a card and not just color and taste and flavor and sound on the table. So the point with this was the way you look at the world is going to change, because something fundamentally that was wounded and hidden within you is brought to light, and that is healed by the presence of two other people that give you the courage within you, or show you the courage within you to move forward. It's like not even moving forward from anything in your past or present. It's like moving forward with just doing the magic thing that you know you're capable of doing, but you've been waiting for an excuse, like using your pain as an excuse to justify not using your power. You know what I mean? Like when you get too hurt and you're just like, what's the point? Up in there. And it's a pain in the ass to get out of it. But once you realize how to take that pain and transmute it into beauty, you create art. You can take your biggest heartbreak, like Gaia would, and like create a massive, crater in the earth. Like the missing void inside you becomes the Grand Canyon on the earth. A beautiful warm night with a cup of tea or something, like a cup of tea or coffee on your front porch with the moon out and fireflies, could be the same sensation to the earth as watching a sparkler is for a kid. Very soothing and exciting and serene, magical. The way you look at things and the way you process your power in this world is changing. It's as if you've been so, here, look, Initiate of Cups. You're being learned how to utilize all this phenomenal power in the physical world without having to constantly have to rebirth yourself and walk away from everything over and over and over and over, leaving a trail of empty cups behind you. You don't need to do that anymore. Now the cups are going to be brought to you, for you, because everybody that you know needs to learn how to harness their emotional intelligence with more wisdom, with such faith that blindfolded and hand-tied and covered in a hood, you could walk through a mob of crazy, angry people and they wouldn't even think about touching you because of how pure your energy is, your heart and your compassion and your empathy. Think about it in a superhero kind of way. That wanted to come out again, so we'll leave it. Think about it in a superhero kind of way. Would Jean Grey from the X-Men be at all afraid, even if she walked buck-rack naked through the streets of, I don't know, Gotham City. No, right? She wouldn't be terrified at all. She would just walk, and everywhere she walked, she would have a field around her where there's no violence, there's no hate. It's just peace. When you get to a certain point, you start comprehending just how pointless fighting is, arguing, complaining, nagging, because nobody sees where that pain comes from. All they see is the emissions of that pain spewing through you, making you look like the monster, while they only see the rage coming out of the monster. And that rage is fueled, fired, and sparked by grief. And that grief is all of the love you still have within you that you cannot give to the world, because the world simply doesn't know how to fucking accept it. They don't know what to do with it. So they copy it, they paste it, they steal it, they feed off of it, they distort it, and they taint it. And now you're being shown, or you will be shown very soon, just how much power you hold. And now, with a simple smile, nations, worlds, universes will put down their weapons and smile at you back. There's something about you, about the human race, about whatever species you are, that has the potential of so much kindness. Think about how disappointing and disheartening it is to be a child of God on the earth, whatever God you think is, to be an emanation, a fractal, a spark of that infinite all. And you waste your time being negative or involving yourself with negativity instead of utilizing that negative energy like an electric current to power your creations. You got haters? Good. Channel that energy into a new tarot deck. Make a new tarot deck full of dark vibes that help people realize their darkness and bring it to light. You got people stalking you? Good. Make some really good paintings, or draw something, or learn how to energetically block them out. They're giving you something, right? They're giving you some form of energy, and all is energy. So use it. Remote view, the remote viewer. If they're sending you friggin' juju, tame the juju and make it work for you. If they're sending demons to you, do you really think a demon is going to want to do their bidding, or that the demon is going to want to be your friend? Every demon they've sent my way has become a very good ally to me. They work for me now. Thanks. So do not be afraid. It's like the heckler in a comedy hall. If one heckler jumps up and says something stupid, isn't everybody in the group gonna turn to that heckler and tell him or her to shut up? Or do you think they're all gonna turn around and start laughing at you with the heckler? And if they do, then tell them all to shut up. Because all they did by doing that is showing you that you're better than them. Because you're a lion or a lioness among hyenas. Among, what is that word? Opportunistic vultures, opportunistic scavengers. They haven't seen a light like yours. Of course they're going to be attracted to it. And they don't know how to treat it, so of course they're going to distort it and hurt it. It's like handing a kitten to a toddler. They're not going to know how to hold it. Ace of Cups and Nine of Pentacles. And again with the Elder of Cups. Okay, before I get into this Elder of Cups and the Novice of Cups and the Five of Cups and the Lovers. Oh, I see what this is. Okay. since I'm not going to talk about myself or people I'm involved with in this in the way that you want me to, some of you, what I'm going to tell you is, yet again, this water sign is wanting to come back into your life. And when I say water sign, keep in mind, it doesn't mean that there's sun sign or moon sign or ascendant is water. I mean, they behave watery, very cold or very hot, no in between. And when it's an in between temperature, they may as well not be there, because what's the point of tepid water? And it's someone who's very arrogant, very cocky, very mightier than thou feeling. Just look at that face. Look at it. Focus, you beautiful camera. I want you to see this face because it's something else, dude. It's something else. Oh, come on. Here and here and here. There we go. Look at that. Is that an elder? Or is that someone who slept their way to the position they're in while shit talking everyone behind them? The only way wrinkles appear on the face like that is either through grief or through anger and bitterness. And usually grief is a trigger for all of those. Because during grief, the body ages and decays. This person is going through some major doo-doo, and they have people in their lives trying to offer them cups, but they don't want those cups. They want the 3 cups that they spilled with you. But you're off doing other things, and you're like, you've moved on. You got your pentacles, you got your friends, you got your house, you're moving on up. But this, and it feels masculine, honestly, this energy for the Elder of Cups. This masculine water sign energy is really, really thinking about coming back to you. Now, remember, whether it's a person or not is different for each and every one of you watching this. So for some of you, it's a person. For others of you watching, it's an energy within yourself that you need to tame. You need to bring back to a humbled state, because you've gone too far into the position of authority you seem to think you hold. But what you're doing is messing with other people's lives based on the unresolved trauma that you've kept because you were too busy moving up in your career to care about how you're treating other people with your words and your supposed spiritual teachings. Now, some of you need to be really careful with which path you're going, because some of you are going down a path with people who are headed into the dark, while you look at the path with the ones standing in the light and you're like, why would I want to go there? There's nobody there. Don't go with the crowd. Never underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups. Now, with this Ace of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles, you, my dear, are and will be continuously sitting pretty. Your future is assured. There's a Siamese cat here. You know, dude, no. Grace and poise. Because I can rip that one apart immediately if I even try. I'm sorry, I can't shake the fucking stank of this water sign energy who is so opportunistic at the scent of you being happy on your own with your own fucking cup, that he's like trying to come back and be like, hey, I need some emotional healing. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Can you help? And you're like, bruh, I'm on my way out over there. And he's like, come on, I got money. And you're like, yeah, and I don't need it. And then he's like, I'll buy you a house. And then you're like, why? So you can take it again later and leave me with nothing but dirt and a plant. And then he's like, no, man, it's different now. I'll love you forever. I know my mistakes. Look at all these cups I brought you. We'll be happy together forever. And you're like, yeah, okay, bye. I'm busy. I'm busy making a fucking empire. Go away. That's that energy. And the reason why I can feel it so clearly, one of many reasons, is because somebody I used to know is watching this video right now with that energy. So I'm very, very aware of someone sitting there watching this that hasn't been very kind to very many people. So if you're dealing with someone like that, the advice is do your own thing. Do not involve yourself with low vibrational behavior. Do not be a fucking cat chasing a mouse when there's sunshine, wine, beautiful home, and a life well lived to be lived. If these people in your surroundings are worth the dignity of a glance from your sacred eyes, then they would not be behaving in ways that requires you to change your perspective on who you should and shouldn't leave behind. It should be obvious, but people have made it less than obvious because they can utilize your light for their own needs because they lack their light, because they never went that far deep into the pain to find the pearls and treasures deep within. You have, and that's why you get this. They haven't, and that's why they're starting with this. They have to go into that water. You're coming out of that water on dry land with your empire. So you have to learn how to work an empire in the physical world, and you got to teach them how to swim in the water world. Nine of Swords. This is not your energy. This is the energy of someone in your environment. It's almost as if the entirety of their spiritual team, all 9 aspects of their chakra system that they're aware of right now, all these swords pointing right at their back, at the things they're hiding from their sight. There is something happening, and there is an empty bed. There's only one person in this bed, but there's 2 pillows. There's a window in the background, but it isn't open, it's closed. You can't see the thing being lifted there. So there's that. There's no fresh air, there's no breeze coming in. It's a world of black and white and duality, and someone lost in their misery due to what they've done in the past that they're hiding from. Let me put this on here because it's separate energy. What can you do to assist this person or to assist yourself from not receiving this person's energy, or to assist this person with clearing their energy? Whatever your situation may be, what can you do to help with this specific energy? Knight of Wands, Knight of Cups, King of Wands. The best thing you can do in this situation for this person is to be your most glam, fabulous, fantastic God, goddess self. You do your thing, live your best life, and keep being here in your body. Embody every inch of your skin with your light so that it emits from you like a golden hue of sunshine. Notice the golden hue up there, but beneath her, where the horse, where her light isn't shining down there, it's darker. But her light up here, it's pure clear. By doing that, these people around you finally accept that they've been less than dignified and noble, and less than what you would call the children of the light. they've been behaving more like the children of the trash pandas. So by seeing you in your regality, they will undoubtedly realize how far they've blocked themselves off from Source. And in turn, they will lay down their burdens as well and accept that the path forward is through family, unity, stability, home, community, a tribe of one people across the entire world, each of us a unique individual, but all of us a family. Instead of this, sitting and bowing before false idols, while serpents twirl behind our backs and people steal what we create. It's time to make a choice. Who do you want to be tomorrow? Who do you want to be the next day? Who do you want to be with tomorrow? Who do you want to be with the next day? If the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ came down here, or Isis came down here, if they just floated through space and sat down and everybody in the world heard a telepathic message at the same time and we were all aware of it at the same time, because that's how Jesus would let himself or herself be known this time around. All at once, everybody gets to know, so that nobody can lie about it. If that happened right now, are you who you would be proud to show your Lord and Savior, whether that's Christ or Buddha or whoever? Would you be proud of yourself if you stood before the king or before the god, before a queen, before an empress, before a priest, before a Reiki healer, before a tarot card reader, before your friend, before your mother, before your grandmother, before your niece or nephews or your grandchildren, or before your descendants? Would you be proud of who you are? Would you be proud of the things you've done? Would your life be a good story to tell your great-grandchildren while they sit on your lap during Christmas? Are you part of the wheat? Are you what's left over? Are you rebirth and in the heavens? Did you create the kingdom of heaven within you and on the earth? Or are you waiting for someone to do it? Or are you just there watching? Which side of you are you listening to? The carnal flesh bag or the creative goddess within you? Some of you are really led by your loins, and it will lead you into oblivion. Some of you are led by your emotions, and it will lead you into more grief until there's just sorrow painted on your faces. And I beseech you, release the grief, accept that it is love, and use that love to create. Release the hatred, accept that that hatred you have towards anybody is a longing to be their friend that you can't get around your pride to admit. Accept that the reason why your relationships didn't work out is because it takes two to tango. It wasn't all one person's fault. Accept that when someone's complaining or nagging, especially at you, it's because they're completely disappointed and hurt and they have no way to describe the pain they're feeling, so it comes out as complaints. They're like children. They don't know any better. It's too much pain to handle for some, for a while. And accept, please, that when you make a mistake, you must acknowledge the lesson you learned from it so that that mistake stops appearing in your life. I don't know if anybody ever told you this, but when you learn something, say it out loud. If you learned never to hurt somebody the way you've been hurt in a relationship, speak it. Speak that sentence into creation. I will refrain to the best of my abilities from ever causing harm to any living being the way I have been, or less than I have been, or more than I have been. This I swear. repeat things to yourself, affirm things to yourself, make checkpoints in your timeline to where you know no matter what happens, you will not fall below this point because you have a totem that reminds you, whether it's a candle or a golden sparkly heart or runes that you use to remind you of past lives, cards, whatever it is that you use to remind you that you went through another week of life or another day of life and you made it and you learned something. Some people journal, some people get trinkets and treasures. Other people have experiences. They go skydiving or they go jogging or whatever. I don't know, hiking through mountains. Move into the present moment by acknowledging where you've been in the past. Let the past be the past. You don't have to let it go. You don't have to erase it. You have to remember it so that you don't repeat it. And you must accept the lessons and the hardships so that you can create with that energy. It's like someone coming up to you and giving you this, and you're like, what do you want me to do with that black rock? Do you want me to throw it at you? And you're like, no, you don't know what this is. It's actually a treasure. And they're like, it looks like a piece of coal. What do you want me to do with it? But if you take it and you polish it and you show them the potential in it, then they will know that within everything there is. Do you see that? There's a little heart. So show people the love within them and the love within yourself. Do not fight war with war, because that's like pouring oil on a burning frying pan to try to get it to snuff out the fire. It's not going to work. Mint Takan, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. My love, you are already home. The only reason why you don't recognize that you're already home is because the earth has been so distorted that it doesn't look like the paradise it was when you first incarnated here. Throughout all the universes and all the cosmos, this is home to everybody. It's the feeling of home. That's why the word earth moved around is heart. And if you wiggle it around a little more, it's hearth, the hearth of a home. The earth is your home. Trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? No, that'll go too deep. We are not going that deep into a reading right now, especially not a general reading. This has already been 45 minutes almost. All right, my loves. Oh, let's get you a goddess card. Closing messages for everyone watching, please. The highest and greatest good of all. May this reading have influenced your lives in a beautiful, benevolent, kind way. Lilith, the first woman. I am the voice of my body and soul. I choose the life that I desire to live. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? Bridget, the goddess of the eternal flame. I am an eternal flame, and each day my light grows brighter. Then let it shine brighter than 1,000 suns. Not out of hate, not out of battle, but because it's who you are, and you should be proud of who you are and shine that light into the world. Not for any other reason than to say, I am here. That's your reading, you guys. Thank you for likes, comments, subscribes, for sharing these videos for people you think it might help. Thank you for all the energetic and emotional support you guys offer through You Know Who You Are. Thank you. I'm honored to have a spiritual team, whether I see you face to face or not. I'm honored to have a team like you guys on either side of the fence, on all sides, because there are no sides. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves.